Close your eyes and imagine something impossible. A world where East never separated from West, where the greatest trade network in human history never fell. The Silk Road. For over 1,500 years, it was the bloodstream of civilization. Gold, spices, ideas, religions, empires. But in the 15th century, it vanished, and humanity took a completely different path. We got colonization. We got the age of exploration. We got the world you live in right now. But what if none of that happened? What if the Silk Road never collapsed? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover will change how you see everything. The year is 130 BCE. A Chinese emperor sends an ambassador named Zhongqian westward. His mission? Find allies. What he found was a pathway that would reshape the world. The Silk Road wasn't just a road. It was a 4,000-mile network of arteries connecting China to the Mediterranean. Merchants didn't travel the whole route. They moved goods like a relay race. Silk from China, glass from Rome, paper, gunpowder, mathematics. But here's what history books don't tell you. The Silk Road didn't just move products. It moved ideas. Buddhism traveled from India to China along these routes. Islam spread from Arabia to Indonesia. The Renaissance? It was fueled by knowledge that flowed west from the Islamic Golden Age, through the Silk Road. Every major religion, every scientific breakthrough, every cultural revolution between the 1st and 15th centuries, it all happened because the Silk Road existed. And then, it stopped. 1453. The Ottoman Empire conquers Constantinople. They control the western end of the Silk Road now, and they tax European merchants so heavily that trade becomes impossible. But that's only part of the story. The Black Death had already ravaged the routes. 75 million people dead. The Mongol Empire, the great stabilizer of the Silk Road, had shattered into warring factions, bandit raids, political chaos, closed borders. And then, Europe made a choice. If we can't go through the east, we'll go around it. Vasco da Gama, Christopher Columbus, Ferdinand Magellan. They didn't discover the New World by accident. They were looking for a replacement for the Silk Road. And in doing so, they created 5 centuries of colonization, slavery, and empire. The world you know was born from the death of the Silk Road. But what if it never died? Let's rewrite history. It's 1450. The Black Death is over. The Mongols didn't collapse, they reformed. A coalition of Chinese, Persian, and Central Asian powers sign a treaty. The Silk Road will remain open, protected, neutral. No empire controls it. Everyone benefits. What happens next? First, Europe never colonizes the world. Without the desperate need for new trade routes, there's no age of exploration. No Christopher Columbus. No conquest of the Americas, at least, not by Europeans in the 1500s. Indigenous civilizations, Aztec, Inca, Iroquois, continue to develop independently. Second, the Islamic Golden Age never ends. With continuous trade, the Middle East remains the intellectual and economic center of the world. Universities in Samarkand rival Oxford. Medicine, astronomy, engineering, they all advance faster because East and West never stop talking. Third, China becomes the dominant superpower 400 years early. With stable Western trade, the Ming dynasty doesn't turn inward. They explore. They innovate. By 1700, Chinese technology is centuries ahead. The Industrial Revolution? It begins in Beijing, not London. Now imagine walking through a city in this alternate 2026. Uri in New Samarkand, a mega-city of 30 million. English isn't the global language. It's Mandarin Persian, a hybrid tongue spoken by 3 billion people. Your phone. Designed in Shanghai, assembled in Istanbul, powered by algorithms written in Tehran. Cultural fusion is total. There's no West versus East. There's no Cold War, because there's no ideological divide. Capitalism and collectivism evolved together along the Silk Road into something entirely new. Democracy looks different. It's council-based, inspired by Islamic shuras and Confucian meritocracy. But here's the dark side. Without European colonialism fracturing the world, one massive superstate controls the Silk Road network. The Sino-Persian alliance. It's efficient. It's prosperous. But it's also authoritarian in ways we can barely imagine. Privacy doesn't exist. Every transaction tracked. Every journey recorded. Freedom was never debated the way it was in the Enlightenment, because the Enlightenment never happened. Progress came at a cost, and humanity paid it. But there's something historians in this timeline can't explain. In 2019, a team excavating beneath old Kashgar finds a sealed chamber. Inside, maps, not of the Silk Road as it is, but of sea routes, western ships, continents labeled in languages that don't exist. It's a vision of our world, the world that never happened. Some say it's a hoax. Others say it's proof that the timeline split, that somewhere, somehow, a choice was made. That in another universe, the Silk Road did collapse. And that world, our world, became something completely different. Two timelines, two humanities, one connected by ancient roads, one connected by oceans and conquest. Which one is better? The answer might terrify you. Here's the truth about the Silk Road. It was never about silk. It was about connection. The belief that strangers on the other side of the world had something to teach you. That difference wasn't dangerous. It was valuable. When the Silk Road died, we didn't just lose a trade route. We lost a way of thinking. We replaced collaboration with competition. We replaced exchange with extraction. And for 500 years, we've been trying to rebuild what we destroyed. The Internet, global trade, the Belt and Road Initiative. They're all attempts to resurrect the Silk Road. Because deep down, we know humanity doesn't thrive in isolation. We thrive when we connect. The Silk Road never truly died. It just changed form. And maybe, just maybe, we are finally ready to walk it again. So what if the Silk Road never collapsed? We'd live in a radically different world. No America as we know it. No European empires. No world wars fought over colonial spoils. But also, no enlightenment born from questioning authority. No democratic revolutions. No individual freedoms as we understand them. Progress and oppression. Unity and control. The Silk Road survival would have given us one and taken away the other. History isn't a straight line. It's a crossroads. And every choice, every empire that falls, every route that closes, sends us down a different path. The world we live in now. It's just one possibility. One timeline among infinite others. And somewhere, in the space between what was and what could have been, the Silk Road still exists, waiting for us to remember what we lost, and what we might still become. What path would you choose? Comment below. Subscribe for more untold histories.